Well, I guess if I can't do the review with the Bodymeister, I have to go with this fella. Hello, Jimmy. Hello, Timmy. Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage. I have reviewed almost 500 indie movies on the channel, and today I want to talk about the new Malayalam language police procedural thriller drama Iratta. It was written and directed by the first-time director Rohit M.G. Krishnan, and it stars Joju George in a dual role. The title Iratta translates to twin, as the story revolves around the identical twin brothers Pramod and Vinod. Both are policemen, or rather were policemen, as the story sets in when one of the brothers, Vinod, has just been killed. He was shot 3 times in the middle of the day, and on top of that, in the very police station he was stationed in. So, the 3 main suspects are also all policemen, each one of them having a difficult history with Vinod. And there's also a difficult history with his very own twin brother Pramod, who is now taking over the case of finding out who killed his brother. Rohit M.G. Krishnan unravels his story by jumping back and forth between the present and several points of time in the past, some being just a few minutes before the death, when one of the suspects recounts where he has been when he heard the gunshots, some being a little bit further in the past, when another suspect tells the story of how Vinod was super drunk one day and did something horrible, and some being way back in the past, as we also learn about our investigating protagonist Pramod's own troubled history, as he was left by his wife, who took their little daughter with her. And in the middle section, we also get 2 flashbacks that flesh out Vinod's character more. One from when both brothers were still young children, and one extended one that really shines a light on who this man really is, or was. Filmmaker Rohit M.G. Krishnan has chosen an intriguing structure for his story, and I liked how smooth or subtle the flashbacks are woven into the narrative. At the same time, the storytelling can come across as a bit unbalanced, be it because of the different length of the flashbacks, which really vary quite a bit, the very noticeable change in tone in the middle part, or the very striking, and I think a bit too striking visual presentation of the childhood segment. It would have been enough to make it black and white, but to also show it in this letterbox format with rounded edges, it's a bit much. But nevertheless, Iratta certainly keeps your interest and makes you wonder not only about the death of Vinod, but more importantly about the nature of these 2 brothers. Pramod seems to be the better man, or at least the one who has gotten his life together, even if his wife left him many years ago. But he's the more respected one, while Vinod obviously has a lot of demons to fight and doesn't seem to be in control of himself. Most flashbacks have a really palpable intensity to them, especially if there's something physical in them, like Vinod going head to head with another policeman or being totally drunk and out of control in a narrow hallway. The cinematography by Vijay, for whom this was also the first movie he worked on, is pretty neat. Iratta has that natural vibe you get from many new Malayalam movies, enriched with a few genre elements, like that thriller background music by Jake's Vijay. But by far the best and most impressive and important ingredient in this is lead actor Joju George, who's pretty wonderful in all of the movies that I have seen him in, but here he is really bringing it to the next level. He pulls off both of these characters, who are different but at the same time more similar than you expect at first. It's little nuances in both performances that lets you distinguish between the 2 of them, and to spot them is also part of the appeal of Iratta. His physical presence alone is really impressive and captured so well. He's a really big guy, and he can be both someone who protects you and one you can't protect yourself from. What starts out as a police procedural, though we learn about Pramod's difficult relationship with his wife early on, becomes a very tragic and sad drama towards the end. But not before we get a nice ray of sunshine in the middle section as well, which obviously makes the finale even darker. It's a film about the darkest or deepest abysses of human beings, about deep trauma, our ability to change, and how our personal history can haunt us and shape our lives in different ways. By making it about twin brothers, it's like putting a mirror to our main characters, who are different and yet very similar. They are connected for life, and just some few important instances in the past and present can be of huge consequence. It's a fascinating and fresh film, and I think I have only 2 gripes with it. One being that I think Pramod's life story and characterization is suffering a little bit under the heavy focus on his brother Vinod. There's this extended flashback about his relationship with Malini, played by Anjali, which is surprisingly touching and important. But there isn't really an equivalent about Pramod. Like I said, I feel the movie is a bit unbalanced overall, which is a pity because I think with a story and concept like this, it should feel like it's equally about the two brothers. And my second criticism is that I feel it's all just a little bit too contrived. What happened in their childhood, how both of them became policemen, both in the same area, stuff like that. But especially when it comes to that ending. Now, if you haven't seen it, just stop the review at this point. It's certainly a movie worth checking out. I won't really spoil the ending, but I just want to add a few more words about it. What Rohit M.G. Krishnan is going for here feels very much like an old boy ending. A big and tragic twist. And I do think it mostly works, but not fully. For it to really hit home, I again feel like it's a bit too contrived, too reliant on chance. And it would have been much stronger if we had more of a connection to the other character involved in that twist. We should have instantly gotten it and be shocked, but as it is, I feel like it's more that we first wonder if we understand it correctly, and then we get the emotional scope of it. But the movie could have laid the groundwork for this twist better. Still, a powerful ending, also again because of Joju George's heartbreaking performance, especially in those last few seconds. But not as hard-hitting as it could have been. So in German I'd say, Rohit M.G. Krishnan hat mit Iratta ein starkes und frisches Erstlingswerk abgeliefert mit einem Joju George in Topform. Eine faszinierende, duale Charakterstudie, die interessante Fragen aufwirft, aber leider auch etwas konstruiert wirkt. I give Iratta 7 out of 10. It's more like 7.3, but I don't do that. Alright, that's it like always. Comment below and let me know what you think about Iratta. You can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram and Letterboxd and also on Patreon, simply at TheJimmyCage. And if you enjoyed this episode, please give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And make sure you hit that bell for all I have to tell.